Microphone. Now, I'm here, but I can't hear you. What is that? Let's get rid of that. More. Share screen. Speakers. Everything's fine. Audio and video settings. Oh, I heard you now.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
How are you? Let me just get... No, I want to close that screen.
I wonder why that was doing that then.
Yeah, I don't know. I just went more and it said audio settings. Anyway, how are you?
I'm all right. Is my level all right there? What's that like? Is that okay?
It's a bit low. I can turn my speakers up.
It's a bit low, yeah? How's that? Is that better?
No, it's my speakers.
Okay.
I was really thinking to send you a Zoom link because I'm not very... Like, I used to broadcast on Skype and it was kind of shit. The video was shit. I used to use software called Pamela. And that's when I recorded Ben Fellows and people like that back in the day. But I've got used to Zoom and I can do Zoom screen share.
I know a lot of people use Zoom, don't they? And I'm really fucking loud over here. So that's all right now. Is my level all right for you?
No, your level's lovely and I've got speakers so I can turn you up or down.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
But like I was sitting there, I was having a break. I just did a video about my mum and I was having a cigarette and I thought, you know what, I'd love to send Brian a Zoom thing. And then right, this is just my brain, right? So I do Zoom pre-records. I'm not very good at lives. So I was thinking, right, I'll send you a Zoom pre-record and we'll go full out, right? I want to show you emails and blah, blah, you know, like just go for it.
Yeah.
And then you're good at editing. So if you say, right, you know, I'm going to black out the email addresses or I don't like what you said there or whatever, I'd be like, all right, you go for it. You have editing control. And then
I just wanted to just talk to you, really, so that we can, just sort out our differences and that. Because look, I'll be straight with you. Yeah, out of all of these people that are out here that are online, I'm a bit loud over here. You seem to talk the most sense out of a lot of them, right? Now I'll be straight up with you. The problem that I had with you when we hadn't even spoken. But you said something about the Reggie Cray thing, and I thought, all right, so she thinks she knows something about something. Let me just explain that. And like I said, there was nothing in it. I went to the prison with my ex-wife and Tony Mortimer. We was taken there by the guy that done my tattoo, who's actually marked me up with something satanic, but we'll get onto that later. Which is what obviously has started making me think about all the time. What's this? What's this? What's this?
I know.
Right? And I've explained that in many, many videos, Angie, and you've seen them, yeah? I've come straight out with everything. Now, if you can't see what I'm going through and the scrutiny that I'm going through over evidence that they cannot deny, you can't deny that evidence. And you also can't deny Ian Puddick. He's worked for the Queen. He's funded me equipment, right? Effectively gone on Sean Atwood.
I completely and utterly, this is what, I'm not joking you, and I'm sorry to be dramatic, but yesterday I clicked on one of your videos and it said this channel is closed. And then I clicked on another one, it said this channel is closed. And then I messaged Barbara O'Hare and said, what the fuck? Like, where's Brian's channels?
I've been terminated. Terminated.
Listen to this. She was out of date with information. She said he's in jail and there's a Facebook group and we're all going down to protest outside the jail. And I'm like, what the fuck? How did I miss that? That cannot be happening. And she's like, you know, so anyway, rumors were flying. And I actually felt like giving up yesterday. I felt like, you know what, if he can have 8 years evidence, 12 years evidence, like superb, irrefutable fucking evidence.
It is irrefutable. That's what I can't believe. Yeah, that's what I can't believe. And on top of that, Not that I think anything of it, because it's all bullshit. But I have actually, if we're going to look at what people have done, I've sold 22 million records. It's more than that now. It's round the world. It's like if Robbie Williams or, anyone of that level was saying this, it'd be getting listened to. They wouldn't be getting what I'm getting. And to cover it all up, it's all being done under the guise of Brian's mad. But a madman cannot put evidence together like this. And the rest of it, the Arts and Embassies programmes, Camilla Batman Jelly, tied to Alan Yentob, they've all got bar houses and art. It's the same thing through and through. I tell you, Nikki Cooper has opened my eyes up to some things, you know what I mean?
I know.
She really has.
I love her to bits. And I've got like my sister lives in Brixton and my niece lived in Peckham, and she accessed help from Camilla Batman Jelly, whatever, for 10 years, right? And then her eldest son was recruited to volunteer for them. And so he did the transition straight from Kids Company to Free to Be Kids. He's like, I said to him, he comes and stays with me once a month.
Who's that again?
Right. My sister lives in Brixton.
Yeah.
Her daughter, my niece, lived in Peckham.
Right.
And she accessed services from Camilla Batman Jelly.
Right. As a young person.
For 10 years, yeah. A single parent with 4 children. She's mixed race and her husband is Jamaican, so her kids are black, right? So she's
on the face of things, they are being seen to be helping some people. They have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my niece accessed Camilla Batman Jelly's services, Kids Company. Her son went to an academy, Grace Academy in Brixton or somewhere like that, and Camilla had an office there in the school. She has offices in the schools, the academies, right?
Yeah.
And they would target vulnerable single parents of children. So when Nikki started putting out her research, like, I was like, fucking hell. And I got onto my niece and I said, come on here, tell me about Camilla, tell me about Kids Company. And first of all, she said, oh yeah, Camilla was taken down because she was trying to expose paedophiles. I'm like, no, I don't think that's what...
It's like she came with that when they cut her funding off in 2015. It seems like the very next day she's gone, I've been talking to coppers who have not been able to do their duties properly. That means John Wedger, who does food drops for her. It's just the whole thing.
It's too dodgy.
How can there not be something going on, Ange?
It's too dodgy. It's too dodgy.
I mean, if we look at it like this, John Wedger, who's connected to Camilla Batman Jelly, right?
Yeah.
Let's just look at that for a minute. Now, he does food drops for her. So he's involved in this whole thing. And at the same time as a cover, John Wedger, which I don't believe is his real name, has been working with Bill Maloney since, how long did they say? 2008, something like that. I think
2004. I hope you're recording this.
I am recording it. I'm recording it.
All right, good.
Yeah. So you've got John Wedger tied to Camilla Batman Jelly, tied to BBC, right? Let's just take it as far as that for a minute, because they're harbouring people like Savile, right? So we go Savile, Alan Yentob, we go Prince Charles, Camilla Batman Jelly, right? And then we go to, let's say, John Wedger. Then we jump to Bill Maloney, who's supposed to be an anti-child abuse activist who wants amnesty for paedophiles, right? And then let's go from Bill Maloney to Ian Puddick, who's worked for the Queen. Admittedly, he's got 2 jobs. One of them is detecting leaks on things.
Hold up there. If I can screen share, when Ian Puddick, see, like you and I could talk for hours, when Ian Puddick did his little thing where he says, oh, I've got 2 companies, one is leak detection and the other is, I work for the Queen, there's a picture in the background. Yeah. And Barbara Hare focused in with a really good camera on that picture. And it's all these like clone-like army people with masks on, only it's years before the COVID. It's like, I've got to send you that.
I've got the video here. You're talking about, because he's got the coat of arms, but you're talking to the right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's mic up a bit.
Yeah. You go and focus in on that picture. And
I had a look. I just took it. It looked to me, because I've done some checking. I mean, once again, I don't believe Puddick. But it could be, because it is a. It seems to be. It possibly is his name, even though it means pudding. But there's a lot of Puddicks, and it's all military background.
The names are just ridiculous. The names are ridiculous.
Military background. There are Puddicks, though. There has been many Puddicks, unless that whole document is false that's online. Which it could.
If you watch the ICSA, I followed the ICSA child abuse inquiry, and they have names like bully, and they have names like that are just ridiculous. Like,
well, it's like our government, isn't it? Hancock, Cummings. Yeah.
It's literally like somebody's taking the piss. They
are taking the piss.
And if you start saying that, people are like, "Oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist. You're so crazy." But it's like,
where are their brains at to not be noticing? You know, it's just that we're not saying that we're banking everything. Oh, his name's Johnson. It means cock. We're not banking on that. But there are little things that, I mean, who was the guy? Worked at Buckingham Palace. Was a butler running a paedophile ring. What's his name? Paul Kidd. Gary Hodgkiss. Geezer come out the Home Office. Who was nearly 7 foot, this geezer, going to meet a 13-year-old. Dark Light done him. The paedophile activist group.
Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, paedophile hunters. Yeah. It's shocking. Patrick Rock, David Cameron's aide. We can go on and on, really. When we heard one name coming out of that place attached to paedophilia and VIP abuse, something should have been done about it. We got chief whips coming out going, we used to, and we score brownie points. Brownie points for what, you cunt? Put the geezer in prison and tell the public about you using it for political gain.
Yeah, I know.
It's so bad. And then,
so just tell me this, right? Just because I'm like a big sister, like, you're looking a bit skinny, you've lost some weight. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Obviously, I'm under a lot of stress, and they're banking on that. But I'll keep going. I've been here before. You got to remember, 2015 they put me in a similar sort of scenario, but it's a lot. It's elevated now. It's a lot. It's a lot more. So obviously, I can't just go to the shop. Right, I've got to be careful now with food orders. I've got to get stuff that I can go around that I know they can't manipulate. This is how it's gone, but I'm still here, and I'm still going to keep going. They're still going to try and paint me up as mad. But trust me, I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready for this other thing, whose name I'm not going to mention, who's got 4 screen names, who's had me arrested. Let's go. Let's go, because if you think I'm just going to weaken and break down, it ain't going to happen. I'm having it with these people, and we all know what it's all covering up for. There's one man in the background, who was seen in a nightclub that Daniela took me to, and that's what this is all about.
I know.
Right? That's what this is all about.
Well, more than one. It could be Prince Andrew. It could be Rupert Murdoch. It could be fucking like anybody. It could be.
Well, I think it's all of them collectively, really.
Collectively. And the
BBC, Tom Watkins.
The you showed was where it said Browns of Mayfair, where celebrities, actors, and royalty would gather, and then they edited out royalty.
Yeah. It's like. I went back there that very night.
Too obvious.
I found that early on in the day, put it in a video the same day, right?
Yeah.
And then that evening I played it. And then when I went back, this is what you get. So don't tell me someone's not following me back. Fucking hell, what's that? We didn't find that. They're gone and covered it up.
It's gone. And that's what devastates me. Like, I lost my channel of 10 years of evidence. And it was gone. Like, fortunately, I had about 80% of it backed up. Have you got your stuff backed up?
Oh, listen, they've done this before, yeah? Do you remember? Puddick takes my computers, November 2017, and coincidentally, at the same time, Richard Mallet has just been done, right? Don't forget, Puddick funded me the Ninja. They've put Mallet in the list.
I believe it.
They've put Mallet in the list, and then to cover me finding out about Mallet's conviction in October 2017, they've took the computers, thinking he don't know about it. Take the computers, and he won't be able to put nothing out. And I've said to you, I've got clones, and then they had to take the piss out of that, right? So the Sun go with He's got clones. There's 10,000 me's coming to get you. We're coming to get you. Right? They knew what they was doing. So it just adds. It's another brick in the wall to Brian's mad. But what I actually meant was clones of my computer hard drive.
Brian Hurl sent me Daniela's phone number.
Like, he's a liar for a start. That guy's lied. Told me absolutely lied in my fucking face, mate. I cannot. Gave him documents of my ex-girlfriend who weren't well. You know what I mean? I cannot believe. I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe it.
But I do think he's got some good in him. But he's a bit out there.
He's working for Puddick. He told me Puddick sent him.
No, he did. He said that to me too. He said
there you go. Puddick sent him to come round and try and hopefully, me take it the wrong way and think, Geezer's going to bully boy me off. No one's going to bully boy me off, right? No one.
I know.
I'm prepared to die here, mate. Yeah.
No, you're looking at a man.
You're looking at someone who can't be corrupted. I don't care if Murdoch owes me 20 million, 40 million quid. Shove it up your arse, you cunt. I am fucking coming for you, whether you like it or you put me through too much. And at the end of this one, mate, I'm sorry, but I win. You fucking lose. MI5, MI6, VIP nonsense. I've found out the very thing they didn't want me to find out. That's what I found out.
And the thing that humbles me is, first of all, I want to go off on one tangent. But the thing that humbles me is at first you just wanted to prove the phone hacking and tapping, which is absolutely undeniable. It's proved off the charts, right?
What are you coming up with, Kellaway?
There's no denying it whatsoever. But I remember you saying, like, don't fucking involve me with paedophilia and Bill Maloney and all that shit, Andrew Ash, blah, blah, blah. I just want to prove my fucking phone tapping.
Well, it went from wanting to help because I genuinely wanted to do something good. I genuinely wanted to. I knew I was going to get scrutinised, called a mad cunt and all that. I knew what I was up against. It was impossible. It was an impossible mission, really. But I thought, no, something real here is happening in the background with a band member, right? And this is what led me into it. And I thought, you know what, this is wrong. And look how they're happy to just leave you sat there, fucked. Because I did feel suicidal all the way back then, I tell you. And I was like, I can't let this happen. Something was like, I can't let this happen.
Brenda McNamara, I stayed in her house like 2 nights back in 2015. Now, by then, Bill Maloney was starting to exit the Truth Movement. Even though I'd watched his stuff and I'd cried all night and it was part of my awakening and Sunset and Satan and all his like pie and mash films, right? And I really bought into it. I really did. And I cried all night. And then I went in, I think it was 2015, and I was just out of surgery and Brenda put me up in Romford and I stayed 2 nights there. And she seemed genuine. And then we went to Parliament Square and then she said, Bill's coming. But then Bill came like he was terrified. Do you know what he reminds me of? How John Wedger is, or how John Wedger was in the last few protests where he's looking over his shoulder all the time like, who's going to get me?
He's all eyes, wasn't he? Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's what Bill Maloney was like in 2015. And like Brenda was like...
because I fucking exposed him, that's why. And then the Hampstead thing comes along off the back of it. It's like, sorry, man, I'm not having none of it. You don't think Abraham Christie knows Bill Maloney?
I know there's some shade around that case, but we can agree to differ, right?
You see the difference. You see the video I put up.
No, I watched the video, and to be honest, there's more background. And if you watch, even if you just watch the eBay promotional video of 2017. Where the children are 13 and 12 and the girl looks like she's pregnant and they've got haunted eyes. The thing about Nikki, I love Nikki to bits.
Either way, it's still abuse.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Either way, so there is that. There was no getting out of that. That is your...
Barnet Police and Essex Police seem to me, along with Sussex Police, to be possibly the most corrupt, right?
Essex, 100%.
Oh, my God. And I think this is why Brian Hurl is so successful, because he's got some really deep contacts with Essex Police.
So he says, but I can't believe... I'm not... Well, number one, it wouldn't surprise me if he did, because he wasn't there to help me. He was there to help Puddick. And that would just show that Essex Police are in with Puddick targeting me again. because of my evidence. I mean, look at DS Simon Werrett. His name's Reverend fucking Eastwood Evan, hiding in Southend, and a Christian. If you're a Christian, mate,
that makes me feel so ashamed.
If you're fucking Christian, come forward and say what you know about Robert Kellaway, because we might get somewhere with Millie Dowler's death and what really happened there. That girl was being prostituted. Look at Levi Belfield's companies. That JP called. All them fucking companies.
I need to tell you about Levi. I don't know if you know this. I only want to tell you stuff you don't know because you know so much. Levi Belfield was associated with Joanne Solis's husband, Graham something, right? And Joanne Solis
went up to sea.
No, Joanne Solis was the right-hand person of Gordon Bowden.
That's right, that's what I said. And Eddie's okay went to see Joanne Solis.
But Eddie discovered she was dodgy. He's the one that told me.
I don't trust him as well.
Well,
how can that man tell me on the day of the court, right? On the day of the court with Puddick, oh, you know, like, I think someone was in my house last night. I put a computer under the kicker board and they took it. I thought, fuck off. Then you had Red Pillfield talking about we're not going to stand for the judge. Hang on a minute, mate. This ain't your fucking court case. And then when I got you on video saying it, so what are you fucking playing at? And then when I bring it up, they're all talking like I threw him under the bus. I didn't throw you under the bus. I said what I fucking saw. Who do you think you are coming into my fucking court case and deciding not to stand for the judge? Who's that going to fare badly on? Me, who's standing there in the fucking dock.
But it's like everybody's, I know what you're saying, but I was live streaming, not live streaming, but I was covering that whole day of your court case, right? And people came out and they would still come out for you, no problem. So, but everybody's got their own agenda, right? So I trust Eddie. I do. And he told me in great detail.
There's something I'll tell you about him off camera.
All right, well, we'll talk about that. And he might be an agent. But the truth is, he told me when he dropped everything and came to help you, his flat got turned over.
Listen, I want to believe that, because I actually like the guy. I liked him. I thought if he was genuine, if that was Eddie, when he come round, Harry, if that was him on a genuine one, right?
Yeah, I think so, but I might be wrong.
No, I can't believe anything I see. Listen, they created a front page fucking story. Listen, Ange, they created a front page story for my benefit that Puddick funded that actually went on the fucking front page of not only the Express, but on the Mirror. Right? Now, no one's battering an eyelid. Where's Andrew Ash? Ian Puddick spoke to him for 2 hours before and told him to say fucking Richard Mallet. That's not strange. So now we've got child abuse, right? We've got phone hacking, and it was you lot that fucking contaminated it.
No, I know.
So now it's one big ball of shit. I'll tell you another one, Mary Moss. I've been running.
I liked her.
I liked her. Until she turned up at the court saying, oh, you just need to go guilty, darling. Just get this out of the way with this Ian Puddick. I was like, what? And then what happened? He got thrown out because there was no case. Because I turned up in that fucking T-shirt going, well, what's this? Why aren't you? Even the police have recognised it. But nothing will happen to Ian Puddick. Why? Because he works for the Queen and he's top man on the job in setting me up for fucking you-know-who. Then the club owners are related to Prince Andrew, and they got the same name as John Wedger's real last name.
Julian.
Put it that way.
What? Julian what?
Yeah, Julian. We'll just leave it at that for now. We'll leave it at that for now. Julian. Yeah, he knows, and he's got a relationship with Puddick because I found old screenshots and that. Tell me I'm wrong. Even like the guy that come here and arrested me. I call it arrested. Illegal kidnap. Sweeting, check him out. He's got family that's been given an OBE this year on the 2021 honours list. And the name was kept off of it for a while as well. Emma Sweeting. And then in 2018, Emma Sweeting, who's National Crime Agency, go back to some of Puddick. I'm going through Puddick's. Officers from the NCA are the people that come to my pop-up gym bar. Really, Puddick? You're fucked, mate. I've got you left, right and centre, all tied up in a nice bundle. Have that. It's all done.
I do believe you. I do.
All done for you. Fuck, I can't believe what I'm finding out. I can't actually believe I'm actually doing all of this. But these people now I know what I'm looking for. They're fucking obvious. And I've already done them. There is no you're going to beat Brian. I've already done you, mate. The world has seen that you set up stories to cover up for royals. Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
The thing is, look at what they did. They took down 9 YouTube channels just like that. It's
just like that. And they ain't got a backdoor into YouTube. MI5 ain't got a backdoor into YouTube. I tell you, Puddick is Mossad. And you hear it in Bill Maloney's voice when I say to him, right, stop fucking about now, Bill. Who is he? Who is he? Tell me who he is. Is he Mossad? Let me tell you what I know about him. And he starts going on about Tom Cahill. It's like, listen, mate, if you don't think I know that Tom Cahill's in on it with them, right, pretending to be some sort of fucking leading me down some anti-Semite route, forget that one, mate. Yeah, I was banging a Jewish girl last year, so don't talk shit.
No, but don't say that. Don't say banging.
No, but it's true. But it's true. Listen,
no, I know, but don't say banging.
That's how I talk, Ange. I'm not going to fucking keep apologising for who I am.
And you know I got in touch with Tom Cahill last year, right?
Fucking hell, man.
You know I got in touch with Tom Cahill only by email in Thailand.
I'm glad I recorded it. I've got about 50, 60 hours of him.
I bet you do. And we'll get all the info out. But let me just go to plan one. Right. Brian Hurl sent me maybe 6-8 months ago Daniela Westbrook's mobile number. And he told me he banged her mother. Right?
He told me the same thing.
Yeah. So, and I don't pick up on his, when he throws me a bone, and I'm like, no, I'm not, I don't know. I'm not doing that. So he's like, here's Daniela's number, here's whatever. I don't know if he sent me in public contact details, but I'm not running after those bones. But I feel like I would like to talk to Daniela. I would like to talk to Daniela. But
talk to her and ask her who's in the red rooms. Just do it straight, because we're dancing around. Daniela, why? I'll tell you, there's another question we want to ask her. Why did you say to me that it was Simon Cowell and Sunita?
I know Sunita, who's black.
Yeah, I'm not saying there couldn't have been a black woman now.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't Sunita. Yeah,
I think there was a couple more adults than I believe there to be, because there was this side of it, and my point of view walks across, and I just see the boy at the knee, the boy sat there like that.
Yeah.
Ghislaine was on the end. She looked a bit like fucking Cherie Blair. That's and you look how long ago I said that.
Such an authentic description.
How long ago I said that?
Who could pick out Cherie Blair and Ghislaine Maxwell and say they look a bit alike? You couldn't make that shit up. You could not make that shit up.
White woman on the end, that fake. That's my. And I was. It's her.
But I've got to go and get.
It's not my fault. Why did Daniela take me through there? Was that a test to see if I'd be in the paedophile club? She does say to James English, because they wanted him in their circle. What circle? No one said this to me while I was about, but I believe everyone else to be. I was the only one not in the know. Put it that way. I'm the only one that weren't in the know, and that's why I'm in the situation that I'm in now.
I used to go to parties like that at Stringfellows. I had model membership at Stringfellows. I used to go to parties like that in Belgravia and in Bayswater and the West End, blah, blah, blah. And I would always go home before the after party. And I just used to think, oh, well, I'm just like...
What Stringfellows? The ones up at St Martin's Lane, or are we talking about an older Stringfellows?
Right. I'm 63, so I'm a generation older than you. I was a model I was given model membership of Stringfellows in the late 70s.
Oh, that would be the other one. The one does the dance floor move or something on the one you're talking about?
No, it was the Stringfellows, but like membership was about 500. It was about the late 70s, and I got given model membership with another Essex girl, Lorraine Raisbeck, and whatever. But it was before he went seedy. Like when we used to go once a week, and there'd be Coronation Street stars and pop stars.
Right, that one there, Brian Tilsley, yeah?
Yeah, they'd be like, footballers.
No, we ended up working for him. That's what I found that strange, because when I used to go in there in a fucking tracksuit with my mates in the 90s, getting nothing, he was in there adjusting the barn doors on the lights. And I remember going up to him, the guy that played Brian Tilsley, yeah? Have a bit of a mullet, a curly sort of mullet. Brian Till, I can't remember his...
Vaguely, yeah.
Right, was married to Gal back in the fucking day. He had a bit of a curly mullet. You would remember him. If you see his face, you remember him. Okay. I think he got into running sex channels later on, like the adult channels, because Nikki told me She saw she'd seen him years ago, Babe Station, around them times.
Yeah.
And he was working at Street. And I went up to him and I went, "You all right, mate?" And he was like, "Oh, you all right? You all right?" And I was like, I was fucking bewildered.
I know.
What are you doing? And I thought, you're a celebrity. What are you moving the lights about for Peter for?
It was weird shit.
I couldn't get my head around it. That was my
I watched
mindset.
Peter Stringfellow crash and dive, right? So I started going there, and we got given model membership. We go once a week. He'd always send a bottle of champagne over to our dinner table, and then like he'd invite us, and he'd say, "Do you want to come for breakfast?" You know, and he was so cute and blah blah blah. And then I would always go home by about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But my friend that I used to go with, she started having an affair with his manager. And he used to invite us back to these parties in Maidenhead or somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it was, but it was like, "Do you want to come to the after party?" And I'd be like, "No, you're all right, mate. You're all right."
There's a TV studio up there we used to go. "What's up, Doc?" or something like that. I remember staying in an hotel up there, Maidenhead.
Yeah, Maidenhead, big scene, like Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
They were doing it all on the suburbs. It's like they'd have the trap in the West End, but then the after parties would be in Surrey or Hertfordshire. They'd go in the counties.
I can believe that now.
Yeah, man. They'd even back to Keith Richards. They go to the counties to do the after parties. And for some reason, I always dipped out of the after parties. My mate didn't, but I watched Peter. Like, my model membership never expired, but I watched him. He went from a sort of Rod Stewart lookalike,
yeah,
and then he started to go pervier and pervier and pervier, and then he had this like maitre d' lady that went weirder and weirder. She'd go pink hair, and then the girls went topless, and then it was fucking lap dances, and I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
It's a weird world anyway. If you surround yourself with, listen, I suppose it's every bloke's dream, but in reality, now you got to think you've got 20 birds that all work around you. It's weird. It ain't gonna end well, is it?
Well, at first I just thought it was a nice nightclub, and it was a bit eccentric. And he used to say, like, "No ugly people allowed." And we just used to laugh, right? He'd just be like, "No, you're too ugly, you're not coming in." And we just used to think he was funny. And then they'd be like, "You've got to wear this, but no, if you're on Coronation Street, or if you're a pop star," it was just like a lot of fun. But the after parties and the way it went downhill, and the way he sort of went all, no, there was some weird shit going on there. There was some weird stuff going on.
There had to be. There had to be.
Had to be.
I see. I never got any of that. I've been in there, gone in with my mates. You know what I mean? We're all like, we're all in fucking tracksuits, and that. You see what it was like, yeah. I had a bright yellow fucking ton tracksuit on, I think, one time in there, and we've gone in like, hey, everyone else all dressed up. It's like we're taking a piss. We've gone up, sat on the table. All right, Pete, and he was going a bit deaf at that time, and he was with that bird. Do you remember the young bird? She was 17 or 16 or 17, blonde little.
Was that the one who went all pink hair and went like maitre d'?
It might have been. I remember she was like, there was people talking about it, and she was like 17 or something. He's like fucking God knows what. She's sitting there. I don't even think really she should have been in a club unless you're 18. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, she was there, and he sat there, and he's giving us dollars to give the girls and that and all that. I'm sitting there. My mates can't fucking believe it. You know what I mean? We're sitting there like, hey, see, you fucking turned out right tonight. And then I'll be trying to talk to him, and he'd be going, "Hey, you have to speak up a bit. I'm a bit deaf in one ear." That's what you get out of him, and that. And I'm like, me and Jeff, my mate Jeff, were laughing about that. But we used to go in all the time. But I never saw anything apart from the.
No, I didn't see the real dirt. All I got invited to was after parties, and all I watched him crash from was a sort of Rod Stewart, like caricature. But then it got seedy and seedier and seedier, and it's like, something's fucking wrong here. Something's gone wrong. I think he was blackmailed. I've got to go and get some cigarettes. Give me 2 minutes.
Go on.
I'm just gonna get my cigarette. Right, let me just catch you up. You're probably caught up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Just caught up on the Sharon Gale stuff. So first of all, an ex-employee says, you know, and I put that out in a video. And then the wife of Professor Martin Swiston says, Sharon, if she's married to my husband, it's bigamy, because I've been married to him for 23 years. And she said, he told me about the baby with Sharon back in 2014. And she said, he spun me a story, and he said, you know, it was a mistake and all the rest of it. And so she said, and we should make another go at the marriage. So she said, we made another go. And she said, I realised he's a liar. And now I'm divorcing him. And now he's threatening to ruin me. You know, and she also said that Sharon had to leave Turkey in a hurry. She said there was a big fucking, I don't know what happened, but she had to get the fuck out of Turkey proper fast. So I with hindsight, I'm thinking, you know, if she works for Puddock, if she works for MI6,
they're all part of it, all of them.
Yeah, but they're not.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, she jumps on the scene with a video, all block capitals, wedger, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, I know, but that might have just been like because Wedger's an arsehole. But the truth is, if they're MI6 agents, if this is the state of British intelligence services, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If this is as bright as they get, like Karen Irving in Canada and fucking Thomas Niedermeyer in Germany and, you know, Sharon Gale, if this is the state of our intelligence services, we're fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if the intelligence services are coming down on one of their own, you know, through no fault of my own, and I got Daniela signalling it, saying, you know, he's going to go missing one day, basically, and that's just the way it goes, and no one's taking any notice. It's like, how can they be letting this? The world has changed, and it's changed.
So I'm thinking I should look up her number. She might have changed it by now, or she might even now. But Brian Hill sent me her mobile number, and he said I banged her mum, blah blah blah, and I didn't take the bait. I didn't ring her, but I feel like ringing her and saying, Daniela, first of all, it made my stomach turn when she said, you know, I have to work, I have to put food on the table for my kids, you know, so I can't blow the whistle. It's like, fuck off.
We know it's not about that anyway. When she said that, you know, I have to work. What do you mean work?
I know.
What the fuck do you mean?
It's like work? Go on EastEnders and get a return gig on EastEnders and get in the Sun newspaper.
She needs, right? Like, listen, man, if honestly, right, I'm doing this. I know it seems like I've got to do it because I can't have this shit thrown in my face anymore. It's signalling. She's playing up to the world like, oh, she still loves him. Look, she's a good girl. No, it's not. She's the devil. She's trying to destroy me. Why did you even go public saying them things in the fucking first place? That's what.
I think on some level she really did love you. I think she's a victim.
She's got a funny way of showing it, mate.
No, I know. I do. I think she's
very, very funny way of showing it.
No,
that's not love. She's being. Her strings are being pulled by the people that she's got to cover up.
No, but she said it herself. She said it herself. Is like, yeah, I'd like to. Here's what I paraphrased beneath the lines. She more or less said, I'd like to do the right thing, but I have to earn a living, you know.
Doesn't everyone? But, you know, the thing is Danielle, you're not well. You could be. You're not. The thing is she's not happy with that. She could have been housed, right? She could have had PIP coming in and ESA, right? Because you are in a state, right? And you need to stand still for a minute and fucking get this shit out of you. This is what I was telling her back when I was with her, Ange. I got turned into the demon, like, Brian's this fucking thing. I was the one that tried to get her off it in the day.
No, I know, and I think she knows
that. I tried to get her off it. Yeah. But I didn't know the full picture. I wasn't told about all this. Her mum used to be a Playboy bunny, and you've been born into something, which is why, obviously, you've turned out the way you have. Yeah. I'd help her. I'd still help her now, Ange.
No, I would
if I could believe her.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I think I will try and reach out to her if that mobile still functions.
But she's got to
and if she's not a cokehead, if she's still a coke, if she's a cokehead, you can't talk. It's like you could talk to a cokehead, and one night they'd agree with everything, and the next day they would deny the whole lot.
Yep, exactly. Same with alcohol. The girl
Yeah.
Do I believe she was a bad girl? I believe she was sent in. She's been put on me for the past 7 years.
She is a victim, but she's also...
She could be in it and all.
She's perpetrating. She is perpetrating. She's perpetrating just on you by letting the Sun run with stories like Brian did this and Brian did that and blah, blah, blah.
She wants to talk about slander.
Shut the fuck up.
You called me a cokehead and I've pissed in a glass in front of you.
I've
done drug tests afterwards. I'm not on drugs. I don't do coke. I'm not into it. I smoke weed. I smoke fucking weed and I've run out. Look. Right, so that's it. That's all I've ever done. But you've been told he's a fucking cokehead. I used to do pills back in the day when I was fucking 18, 19, 20, 21. I wouldn't want to do that shit now. Fuck no. Who wants to sit there rushing like?
And look at Sean Atwood, like, oh, the ecstasy kingpin, and now he's got like 700,000 subs.
And who's he in with? And he's bought all of them because the deals don't marry up and that.
I know. Do you know something I've got to say? Right, two things I've got to say. First of all, I've got to say, you put up a video of Christine Joanna Hart, I don't know how old it was, and she was saying, me and Angela Power Disney don't have relationships because we don't like sex because of abuse. I'm like, fuck off, I love sex.
So you love it when someone speaks for you.
And I'm just thinking about, no, stop it, girlfriend, stop it. I don't have visions of my father. Stop it. Like,
she's been giving us our news for the past 30 years.
I'm not very good on trust, you know, and I am quite brutal.
Again, inside there somewhere, you know, there's
it's a good person.
Inside there is, but she has been in that world where it's punt after punt, story after story.
She'd sell her granny. She would sell her granny.
And she's a dark person. She said, I'm going to go and get magicked up.
Going to get magicked up.
I thought, what? Let me just show you what that means. Crowley and then the Beatles tie in, Savile, and it all starts to make sense.
Let me just go and get my drink.
Yeah, got it. It's just a big merry-go-round of shit.
It all depends on what people's price is.
Yeah.
And Christine, sadly, still wants, she's like, if somebody will buy me a house and make me famous like Sean Atwood, and
she says the wrong things, doesn't she? She's very inappropriate.
I know. I nearly cringed. I just wanted to put a disclaimer on that video and now it's gone. But it's like, don't you fucking speak for me, girlfriend.
Yeah, no, she's. No, don't worry. I've not lumped you in with her.
No, but it's like I do have some things in common with her. She has had some really hard stuff, but she's chosen the dark side. She's chosen.
Greg Miskill.
She's chosen like. If MI6 gives me the call, I'm still going to work for them. If MI5 gives me the call, I'm still going to work for them. I think
she's working for him. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
she's still working for him.
And Wendy Wu.
Who's that? Wendy Wu. Like, this is another Brian Hill bringing this bird's talking.
No, but I do think there's.
I went on her thing and put her straight, didn't I?
Well, yeah.
I put her straight. They all. I come away and I said, does everyone understand now? I went in that room. I must have spoke for an hour and a half, something like that.
Sometimes you're too nice.
Well, to be honest with you, Ange, I'm not a fucking horrible person.
No, I know you're not.
These people are making me have to be like a cunt. You know what I mean? I'm not actually really like that, and they know that.
Nature. I know.
You know what I mean? But I can be a cunt.
Yeah, me too.
I can be a cunt if I need to be, but I'm not really that, and I don't.
Yeah, it's not your natural way. But when you went on Wendy Wu, it was almost like they sort of hypnotized you a bit. You were a bit like, all right, I want to be friends with everybody. Yeah, okay, everything's good.
I'm just going to not give you an excuse to divert and say he was this, he was that, and make sure you understand the points that I'm telling you. They all said that they understood and they get me now, and they're all sorry, Brian, and blah, blah, blah. And I left it at that. But I expect them to still carry on a thing afterwards because it's They're part of the.
I do think she's still working.
They're all part of it.
I think she's still working. I'm pretty sure she's still working. She defends Puddick a bit too much. And
what is there to defend? Show me one bit where he's like, no, Brian's well out of order. I'll hold my hands up. Go on, point one thing out.
No. He's huge.
I've been out of order.
He's huge, but I think his handler is Michael Portillo.
More than likely.
Yeah. So he is like your front man up to level 4, say out of 7. So he goes up to level 4, and then there's Michael Portillo, and then who knows above that. And so he is pretty senior, and he is pretty fucked. He is. And
then Brian L turns up. I've just got the range list off of right. No, check it though.
No, Brian's
He's got Bill Malloy. Right, at least get the name right if you're going to put him on.
I know, Brian. But I do think there's still some good in Brian. I think he's also on the paycheck, right?
If he weren't a liar. Right, and
Brian has lied to me off the charts,
and me big time, ridiculous levels off the charts.
It's hurt my life. It's hurt my personal life. How much he's lied.
He has played a part in me going. I cannot believe how someone can look you in the face and lie that bad.
No, I know, and I think that's part of whatever it is, the drugs he's on. I don't know, whatever. But I still can't completely hate him. It's like I can't hate Daniela.
He's not an unlikable bloke. That's the thing.
He's likable. I know he lies off the charts, right? And I know he's
doing it for someone. So it's not a compulsive lie. He's doing it for someone.
Oh, he's so covered because the Metropolitan Police rang Essex Police and said, please arrest him on these grounds. And Essex Police said no.
That's if that was even true.
Yeah, I know.
Essex Police, all these people. It's like fucking hell.
Essex Police, Barnet.
He probably. Do you know what? He probably knows Reverend Eastwood Evans.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
I don't see like all Essex Police involved. Sweeting knows where it. I know that for definite. I've got them on the same thing. Sweeting and DC Werrett. Or he was called. I think it might have been DI Werrett at the time, but they're together. They're in there. They all know each other.
Yeah. DC Martin went to DS Martin, and he got promoted in the the Freemason Lodge.
And don't forget who he is. He starts off as DS Werrett, right? DS Simon Werrett in 2002. Robert Kellaway.
The evidence
goes to see him. But if you look at the email, right, where the 2nd of the 5th 02 when he's transcribing is on.
Yeah.
On that email at the top, it says, dear Mr. Werrett, as requested, here are the conversations that I outlined to you yesterday. The email's on the 9th of May, right? So this is on the 8th of May. Now, this is where Kellaway is saying that he's been to the police and took the camera and the cash to Loughton Police on the 8th. But I've got you there on the 3rd. Doing your transcripts.
Yeah.
Now that's a big problem because the story comes out on the 5th 2 days later. So the old bill basically taken your legal transcripts and still let you put that story out and still arrested me and put me inside for it. And while I'm inside, I have to do that. I get dragged from the cell 6 o'clock one morning, taken over to the other side of the building to do the video lineup for the machete attack on my head in 2001. Now, were they not helping them out? I had no representation, nothing, and they got off of it.
I don't even know about that. That was Liverpool, and that was before I followed you.
Nottingham, outside the Works nightclub in Nottingham, but the people came from Liverpool. And then you got Daniela going down to Liverpool all the time. You got Sean Atwood down in Liverpool. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you about the machete attack? Just because I don't know about that. Like, I lived in America till 1990. So I missed a lot of that stuff that happened.
What happened was I was going to America, and was it the first time or the second time I've come back? I think it's the second time, and I've gone over there to work with Wyclef. 9/11 happened while I'm there.
Okay.
We couldn't get across the bridge for quite a few days before we could go in the studio and do this other song. When I've come back from there, it's that time, because I remember I had a black T-shirt and there was a white T-shirt under it. It was just something that I got from America, and I'd done the show in that in Nottingham. It was just a quick money earner. Me and my mate Jeff went down now. So it's after I've just come back from 9/11. Yeah, 2001, that's right. So I go in the club, I do the PA, I hang about for a half hour, and then we're going to leave. And my mate says, oh, these two girls, and say, hello, how you doing? One of them's all standing there like, she's standing like she wants to, you know what I mean? What's that all about? What are you introducing me to people for, you know what I mean? And then we was going to go. And he said, I said, you got Rizla? And he was like, no. He asked them girls, they said they had Rizla, so I was going to go outside and quickly skin up, right, in the back of the car. And then he was going to fuck off, and they fuck off and go, because I was getting back. And we've come out the club. I've gone to the car, unlocked it, opened the front door, pushed my seat forward. The two girls sat there. The car door's open. They sat there, and they had the Rizla, and they were skinning up, right? And I'm outside the car with Jeff, and he's going, oh, I need to go for a piss. And it was an alley right there. But like a little girl, he goes back inside the club to have a wee-wee, right? So it's just him, you know what I mean? It's just what he's like. So by the time he comes out, I'm in a puddle of blood in the doorway of my car. Because after he's gone in there, I've gone back to the car now and had a bit of weed on me, gone there, I've gone, you might as well skin that up because you're sitting there doing it. And I'm now, and then five geezers, one geezer come over first. A little bit taller than me, mixed race, quite spotty, comes over and he goes into the car and starts fucking with the keys. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? And then he turns around and he's in my face, right? And he's like, yeah, you fucking E17, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, so this geezer knows who I am. And he's like, don't get this, right? And then another four come. So now I'm surrounded in my car doorway with the car door open, car's behind me. I'm standing in my car doorway. And then they're all round me, yeah? A couple of them are really tall, a couple of them are down there, five of them. And then I just get through them all, this punch in the face, right? So I'm like, bang. So obviously I turn around now, and I'm just getting punched and kicked and then laid into, and I fall into the back of the car onto the girl's lap, right? And while I'm there like that, I thought it was over, and then I just heard this. And then there was just blood everywhere. But I'm still all right, but I'm just like, the fuck? I'm looking at the girl and they've got blood, and I'm like, and I've come out the car and they're all backing off now. Yeah, and I'm standing like, I knew it was bad. This was bad. I knew this was bad. And yeah, so I'm backing up, and then Jeff comes walking out the club doing one of them, and I'm just like, right. And then the club people are coming over and they're getting me, took me inside, sat me up against the wall, my legs out in front of me, sat up like that. And my mate had to drive my car to the hospital. Them two girls came with him, because obviously they see what happened. But now we know they were tied into these lot.
Oh, God. Right? So they were part of the trap.
And one of them, on the drive, dropped something and went down to pick it up and come up with a bit of my head with a blonde hair in it, because I bleached blonde hair.
God.
So they give that to the hospital. And they've done something to keep it cold, and then I'm there, and then they took a picture of it. They said, do you want to see it? And then the turner was like, fuck, you know, it was like a fucking pizza slice gone.
So do you think those girls were a honey trap?
Could have been, to come along right at the end. I think it was planned, if I'm being honest. I think it was an attempt to kill me. I mean, it wasn't.
Sounds like it.
It was an attempt to kill me. So, you know,
that and you know when they hatched you, why did they back off? Why did they stop?
I think he'd done the damage. Do you know what I mean? And they were backing off. And then you got to remember, there's cameras, but it's just out of the way of CCTV, according to Nottingham Police.
Yeah.
And that's why when Alex Belfield piped up and the police were coming in, I tried to get hold of him, because I was like, listen, Alex,
what a wanker.
We've got shit to, like, you know, I don't want to be his friend. We got shit to talk about if you're genuine. And then so it makes me laugh, because he's got freedom of speech at the bottom of his finger. Now, you can donate. There ain't no fucking freedom of speech. No. You just told me you're one of them being put there. You're the crossover. You're one of these crossovers like David Icke. They all come out to BBC, these people.
That happened to me with Tim Tate. Tim Tate was the producer of Children for the Devil, and it was going to air on Channel 4 or something, and the night before it got pulled. And like I featured his book as an audio book, and then he contacted me and said, "Oh, you're breaching copyright, blah blah blah," and like I like I was going to contact him. He gave me his Skype details, but my Skype wasn't working. But it's like, you know, and then I heard him on this obscure radio channel, 5 of my favourite subjects, and he's talking about weird fucking shit. It's like some of these people that supposedly cover child abuse and, you know, justice, they're liars. They're just liars.
Yeah.
They're just liars.
Like you said, they've got to be on the payroll doing it for the government.
It's such a head fuck. And this is why I understand when people don't trust me, they're like, oh, you know, you're an agent, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you cannot tell who is real and who is not. You really can't.
You can't, man. You can't. And if I've had it wrong, I'm sorry. I will apologise to you.
No,
for
and
that.
Well, yeah.
But you know what it's like. It's part of the test as well. You got to see how people react.
Yeah.
You know, and if they react right, and I've got to be honest, and I've told these people this before. I've never disliked you. I thought in the beginning, what's this about? She's another one of them coming in, another angle. Let's see how he reacts. You know what I mean? Like, Angie, I wouldn't put myself out here. Do you know what I mean? I really wouldn't. 8 years, all this time, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
You've seen the paperwork. Some of it. You ain't seen all of it.
No, I believe, look, your evidence is incontrovertible, right? Now, I do cringe sometimes. Like, I fell out with you and Wheezy a little bit, first of all, because I tell you one thing, the way you two, if you go after a woman that has been out of order, right? But what I've been trying to process this, because, like, the way you went after Sleepy Dawn Morgan and A1000.
Who was Sleepy Dawn Morgan?
Oh, I don't know. Just you.
A1000 deserved it because you want to see the things that's saying about Nikki and all that. It's just you're faceless. You're another one of them.
Yeah, and then also there was someone else. Who else was it? Even like So anyway,
listen. The thing is though, there's nothing against women. You'll notice. Sorry, go on.
Because I've seen you and Wheezy go after women, right? Like Sharon Gale, who I've gone after too, Sleepy Dawn, you know, like A1000, whatever. And I'm 63, so I'm of the generation where you have to be a gentleman. You can't go after women. But the truth is, when you come to abuse and even sexual abuse, women are just as wicked and evil as men. And so
and they've always started it on me.
And I'm thinking, like, maybe I should shut the fuck up. Maybe some of these, now I'm not naming women, but some women, in my opinion, more like Karen Irving and Shiva Burton and some of those, but some women, they need going after. So maybe the gloves are off. You know, maybe
Sharon Gale, with her, it's all right for her to sit there and abuse people and take a cunt off while she gets pissed up out of her skull. I spoke to her for about 4 hours on the phone, and it ends with a phone dropping on the floor, me getting a close-up of the carpet. I don't know what this fucking bird's doing. I've been nice to her, and then I'll get to a point and I thought, no, you're taking the fucking piss now. And I turned on her and I told her, I said, listen, do you really think you're helping yourself going online pissed up like that? Telling people to cunt off, but then when you fucking step out of line and someone tells you, no one must say something, we must choose our words carefully. Really? You fucking little cunt? Fuck you. That's what I told you. You want to give it, then you have it back. And it ain't just about women. Look at Puddy. Look at Bill Maloney. Look at Ben Fellows. Look at Werrett. Look at all of them. I'll call them all out, mate. You know what I mean?
Fellows.
You only kill me once. You'll only fucking kill me once. And I'll tell you what, when I go, I am going to leave a trail of destruction behind, but a good one that people can build on.
There's two things I'd say. First of all, right, I'm praying that you don't die young, right? I know it's...
Well, it won't come from me, and you don't put a gate on your door and do all of this if you want to die, do you? It makes
I don't want you to die young. And the second thing was, don't hold back, right? Because you say, right, I'm going to let it all loose. What happened? I'm going to drop the bombs. And I know there's people like John Mark Dugan, and they hold back some information for insurance, right? So they're like, right, I've got the killer info, but I'm not going to release it so that'll keep me alive. No, I say release it all and trust God to keep you alive.
I have released it all, but I've also kept it legally clever.
Yeah, we have to be
and no one can blame me for that because I'm not going to walk into their traps. Because I've had trolls say that to me before. Just say it all and then get painted up as a madman. And then I'll fall into your agenda. But at the minute, I'm holding back The interview that no one has seen yet with Andrew Ash, because it's going to be very telling when I play you that now in the light of, look what these people were trying to do to me. Don't take this as real. None of this is real. But look what they were doing. All funded by Puddick, who works for the Queen. Watch this.
No. It was pure wickedness. It was pure wickedness. But and it was pure wickedness. But the truth is, I've worked with so many survivors that I tend to believe, like, I think
this is real help, because in the future they'll get listened to. Yeah, we have to sieve out the shit. I think
they dropped 80% truth and 20% what they were bullied into.
Yes.
They dropped 20% disinfo.
I think Andrew's a victim, but I also think
definitely.
He's done something wrong. He's done something wrong to allow himself to be able to be put in a situation to do that.
He's held the camera. He's been in with who's that bloke he went and visited on the Isle of what's his name? That bloke, that dodgy one that was connected to your neighbour. Spinks, not Warren Spinks, but
Warwick Spinks.
No, it wasn't Warwick Spinks, although he's part of it.
Yeah.
Sydney Cook. Yeah, Sydney Cook.
Yes.
No, and they have crossed the line. There are people.
Here's the thing, Ange. Check this out. This is what you've got to look at. Now we know that whole Express thing was all built for me, and it was, right? I think we can agree on that. It was to kill two birds in one stone. Discredit victims, stop them coming forward, make them look like liars, and throw me into that mix, right? To discredit me. Then no one's going to listen to the phone acting after you've gone and accused Prince Andrew of something. But here's the thing. Why out of all of them people, you ain't included Ghislaine, but you've got Prince Andrew in there for me to get wrong, and Sydney Cook at a party where you're saying Prince Andrew is and that. So if I'd have gone with that now, like, this is real, this is what's happened, I'm telling you, public, and then get made out to bet, why have you included Sydney Cook and Prince Andrew? That's the thing that intrigues me. And tried to swap it for Simon Cowell and Sunita, cleverly being pushed by Bill a couple of years.
I think Simon Cowell's dirty, I do.
Oh, I do, I believe it. I'm not saying that I don't believe, me personally, my view, that I think
he is, but that's a side issue. It's a side issue.
I have no proof of that.
I do think the sad thing is you thought, here's what I've observed over the few years I've followed you.
Yeah.
You thought there were two main things. One, you knew what Tom Watkins did to Tony Mortimer, right? Let's just put it out there. I'm saying it, not you.
I can't. I'm not.
No, I know you can't, but I've said it, right?
I can't confirm any names.
You can't confirm or deny.
I can't confirm any names to you at this point.
You knew your manager was.
I knew what the manager was.
He was a rapist. He was a paedophile, rapist, whatever.
I think he was very high up as well in their realm, in their world. I think he's very high up.
Jonathan King, make all the
already proved that Jonathan King, his friend, was running a VIP sex ring.
Absolutely.
VIP perverts. So that was underage kids.
You know who follows Jonathan King and comments on his Twitter is Danny Jones. Danny Jones is friends on Twitter with Jonathan King and comments, and they're all connected. They are Rolf Harris, Jonathan King, Simon.
There's something wrong with that Danny Jones.
Yeah, he's connected to Jonathan King. And you know who sent me the proof of that was Andrew Gine. Sent me proof of Danny Jones, being friends on Twitter with Jonathan King and commenting under Jonathan King's tweets. So they're all connected. But there was something I was going to... Yeah, so the two things, right?
No, Jonathan King, while you're on that, the interesting thing now is that Mazza Mahmood done the sting with Ben Proctor. And Christine Joanne has worked with both of them. So I would suggest that she knows who's in that red room. That's why she ain't asked Daniela the obvious question.
I think she knows a lot of shit. I think she's just holding out. If somebody said to her... Because, like, Hugh Grant had lunch with her and said... I'd like to do a film about you and the phone hacking and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, how much will you pay me? So I think if somebody, and I am fond of Christine, and I know she's a victim, but if somebody went to her and said, right, I'll give you 50 grand or I'll buy you a house if you'll just tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, she'd tell it. But it's like, why do people put a price on telling the truth? But the thing is, I think you knew about Tom Watkins And I watched something a couple of days ago, and it was about a band that was going to stop signing with their manager. And that was one of the things you said in the early days. Your 5-year contract with Tom Watkins was nearly up. Yeah. And you were saying to the rest of the band, look, lads, I'm not comfortable. I think we should fucking cut the strings. And he knew that. And he knew that. So it's like, fuck this shit. We are going to drown that boy. We are going to throw him to the wolves. Yep. He will not cut my influence and power in the 90s.
Because that's what I had over him. Once a band member had broken down in front of me, admitted everything, right? Yeah. That was when it was like, I still can't get over it. Because I honestly didn't believe I lived in a world, there's dirty old men and things like that. I didn't believe we lived in a world where that fucking shit was what is actually running the show. I didn't believe that, because I'm not a woman. I ain't gone through it. It must be different for a woman as well. That's another thing that I realised. I've gone through it as a bloke. I can't say unscathed. I've been attacked and shit like that, you know what I mean, with a machete. That way I've not come out unscathed. But they ain't raped me. I've not come in through some children acting school.
It wasn't all girls. It wasn't.
It's more boys. It's a boy business.
There you go.
It is a boy business. It is a boy business.
Yeah, Bros, E17.
It is a boy business, man.
It's a boy business.
It is. Boy bands. The girl thing, like, it has always been that. And I say this to Andrew Ash on this, what have I called it? The Unseen Andrew Ash interview. I say this to him on now. Yeah. We actually have a conversation about this bit.
The boys, like, the big secret, because the boys are too ashamed to tell it.
And then go back over the managers. You've got NSYNC's manager, right? They done a thing on him. That's what needs to happen here.
Yeah.
The bands need to come forward and say what they know about your Simon Fullers. We've all heard stories there around the Spice Girls. I know Biff, who was with Tom, who had the drinks of Bacardi that time, when I left them, was sick in the car and all of that, yeah? And Terry was sick in the car. That was Biff, who produced the Spice Girls. He was with Tom Watkins for a while.
There you go.
So everyone is interconnected. Now, what I'm supposed to believe, he didn't know about that. They all fucking know. It's how the industry's run.
Exactly. And the thing about boys, it's like in Britain, it's run because the elites get sent off to boarding school at 8, and part of their initiation is they get raped. Right, they get sodomized.
See, that's shocking.
Yeah, I know. And they're told this is what the prefects do. This is how you learn discipline. This is normal. This is what your parents went through. Don't worry about it. We're all part of the club. Come on, like, let's go and join a fraternity, or let's go and be in fucking the Skull and Bones, or let's go and be in the Bullingdon Club, or whatever. And they all keep this shameful secret. Because like David Cameron, like, being outed for fucking a pig's head, they're too ashamed that the girls will come forward and say I was raped. The boys or the men will be like, fuck me, I'm not saying that. You're the only one in your band or in the entire British music industry who said it's fucked up. It's horrible. It's like, this is what's going on. And I've talked to and interviewed male survivors, and they're so ashamed. They're like, how can
It's not their fault. Listen, they got to know that it's not their fault. You're manipulated at an age where they know you want fame.
Say I was raped? A boy is so ashamed.
Listen, if it happened to me, I'd be sitting there now saying to you, mate, they done this to me, they done that. I'd fucking come out with it. I would. I just would. I'd take pleasure in going, see that cunt over there? That fucking thing raped me when I was what? I'd fucking do it, mate. I wouldn't be. I'd fucking do it. I'll tell you now. I'd fucking do it, because she ain't going to move forward. You've had all the footballers come out. I can see it on their face. You can see it. Yeah, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault.
But it's still
and it's just like the band member.
It's a big shame, yeah.
It's not his fault either. That's the thing. That's why he's sitting there going, yeah, it's him. Because it ain't his fucking fault. And I've said years ago, I said more of this was going to unfold. And I knew it was going to unfold. And look where it's going. Now we're going into BBCs. This is what the real problem was. It weren't we don't like your record, or you said something about ecstasy. Fuck off. Your mate set that up for me to say that. You're going to use that against me? Yeah. No, you're all in the paedophile club. Yeah. Now I get it. I didn't realise or want to believe that that's what was running the fucking world.
Yeah, I know.
And it is. And then you talk about it. No, you need sectioning. You're mad. Oh, that's a nice cover up for it. It's fucking terrible. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I ain't going to be stopped. They can do what they fucking want. You're going to end up killing me.
You have to look after yourself, Brian. You're looking like you lost some weight to me.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just the Skype.
I think it's the lighting in there, really. The lighting.
I just want you to look after yourself.
Well, I have. Listen, I'll tell you what, right? I've got 4 Greg's pizzas over there, right? The reason I'm not showing them to you is because I'm not involved in Pizzagate. But I'll fucking show you. Stay there, I'll show you. All right? Nicky just sent them. I said to you, yeah, I've got to eat things. Right? Look, yeah? So...
No, you're well looked after. You're well looked after.
And so listen, don't worry about me, mate. I'm fine.
Look,
I've got to be careful what I have, because I think they would try and poison you, and you can call it paranoia.
No. I believe you, but there's a scripture that says you can drink poison and it won't hurt you. I've had so many. It sounds crazy, but I've had assassination attempts on my life.
So I've already had it.
I've had the wheel nuts loosened on a sports car in California, where I've lost the wheel at 80 miles an hour on a fucking freeway, right? I've had so many assassination attempts, but what you need to do is raise, even though it's good to be wise, don't be stupid, but you need to go up a level and say, I can drink poison and it won't hurt me. Like, literally, I've walked through...
I've got faith. I've got a lot of faith.
I know you do.
I don't know if I'm ready to go, yeah, I know this is poison. I'm going to... Like, I had a roast dinner turn up, right? I had a roast dinner, right? And the geezer does them wicked in Walthamstow. Tommy's Tucking, it's called, right? £10, £10.50 with delivery. It turns up. But the corner of the foil thing, yeah, it's about that deep, the thing that you get. It's about like that sort of size, yeah? But it's square. And the corner was a bit, and I was like... No, because there's gravy in there. I can't. So the stuff that I'm getting, if you notice, look. So for a start, I can see how long it's taking the bike guy to pick it up and bring it here. It's sealed for a start, so you ain't getting that undone without me knowing you've been in it, right? And then you got fucking... They are really nice, I do recommend them, but I don't want to get involved in Pizzagate in that way. Go, no, look, he's got a pizza. Look, I've got to eat pizzas because I know the worst the geezer can do that is only touched it. He can't put nothing in it. I could see if the cheese was moved. Like, I'm very much like that.
But the truth is, this is why we say grace. People think, like, when you say, bless the food, bless the hands that made it, and bless the company, they think you're just being religious. No, you need to bless the food, so if there's any dodgy shit, it gets neutralised.
Yeah, that works with, like, what you say when you write love on water, or if you write hate on it, it does affect it.
Yeah, so we have to go
Nicky Cooper said about the black rice. Look at the black rice experiment.
Yeah, well,
there's an experiment, and it proves that what you put out affects.
I know. I've walked through the front line in Brixton, and I've walked through a bunch of yardies, and they've started to hustle me. And then the main guy says, "No, she cool, leave her alone, man." And then I'm thinking, "Oh, that's a nice man. Why was he so kind?" And then a week later, he's shot dead, and he's in all the papers as one of the biggest yardie gangsters. And I'm like, I was walking through pure danger, and I didn't know it.
Same.
But I think it's a good thing. It's like if you've got faith, when you get food, I'm not saying be stupid. Like if somebody sends you, a bowl of arsenic, you're not going to eat it. But at the same time, if somebody sends you something and you're not sure, just fucking say grace. Just say grace. Anyway, listen.
People do. There's some nice people out there, man, and they've sent. Last night they sent me 2 pizzas. Yeah, there was heartbroken. Julie and Avatar. They're really nice. They're really nice. There are some nice people out there.
So look, the Holly. What is it? I ain't know. Please pray for me to get through to Daniela, and I will say to her, Daniela, will you stop selling your soul at this stage of your life? She must be 50.
She ain't going to listen to that. She needs to turn it around, but she won't. I'm telling you, she's too far gone. I'd like to believe that she'll change. This has been all her life. You got to remember, her life.
But if she's clean and sober, she might come through.
She would if you could get her to that point, but you ain't going to get her there.
Yeah.
She's had ample opportunity to sort it out, you know? And I do believe, I've got to be honest with you, yeah, in my heart of hearts, knowing what I know now about how these things have come about and what I believe she has been born into this. I think it's a generational thing.
Yeah, me too. I'm 3rd generation out of 5. But here's the thing I want to end on, right? There's a copper that interviewed my niece because she was the first one to go to court with my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law had been abused from the age of 11 to 14. We knew that. That was documented. And this copper said, it's no excuse for turning into a perp. It's no excuse. If you're born into it, if you're traumatized, no matter what you've been through, it's no excuse for turning into either a perpetrator or somebody who covers up. That's no excuse.
No.
All right, Brian. Will you do me a favour? Will you render this and send it to me so I can upload it or not?
Yeah, yeah. No, you can. Yeah, of course.
Find a way. I'll put it on my
channel. I can probably, if I squash it enough, I can probably send it back through Skype. If not, pop an email in the chat part, and then I'll squash it and I'll zip it and I'll email it over to you.
All right.
Let me just check that it's still recording, because you've got a bit in there. Stop recording button. All right. Yeah. So I'll stop recording that.
And let's talk again. There's so much we need to cover. But look, I'm delighted to talk to you.
Actually, Ange, you know what happens? If I'm right, let me bring the chat bit open again. Right, the chat's open to the side now. When we've finished the call, I think the video shows up in the chat automatically now if it's been recorded.
Right, I'm so pants on Skype.
Yeah, there'll be a chat bit there, yeah? So at the bottom of the screen over on the left, you've got like a little bit that's sort of a white button with lines on it, which represents sort of your chat at the bottom left, I think.
Well, what I'll do, I've got this technical assistant. I'll ring him.
There's just a button there, and then the chat will open out at the side, literally. There is a button there for it, trust me, it's on there, you'll find it.
Right, well, I'm going to look stupid trying to find it.
It's at the bottom of the screen on mine. Hang on, no, it's moved now. I've opened the screen out. Right, that's why you're not finding it there.
I've got choose screen to share, start sharing.
Start recording. We've been going an hour and 18 minutes. We've been going now.
Yeah, I think we did really well. I think we did really well.
Yeah, well, listen, it's good to talk to you anyway, Ange, right? So, listen, I'm not one of these wonky people. So from this day forward now, you won't get from me. I think she's an MI5 agent.
No, if you've got a problem, just tell me. Yeah. Just tell me.
And we should have done it. We should have done it a long time ago. Right, listen, you can safely take from me now, and I ain't got a problem with you. Right. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't dislike you at all. And I'm sorry for calling you an agent. And I always knew if we spoke face to face, I think we get on.
Yeah. All right, darling. Take care.
All right.
And look after yourself. Make sure you eat.
I am. I'd love come on. How much more do you want? You know what I mean?
I want you to eat some fruit and vegetables.
It's hard over here. No, I am. I'm getting back on the juicing and all that. Because summer's coming. It's time to get healthy.
All right. Take care.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.